Today we're going to be talking about two different types of meaning when it comes to words. The first type is denotation or denotative meaning, and the second one is connotation or connotative meaning. Now you'll probably be a little bit more familiar with the word connotation, but we'll review both of these terms. The denotative meaning is the objective meaning or the meaning that you would find in the dictionary when you looked up a word. Connotative meaning is the emotional meaning of the word, or so the feelings you experience or associate with the word. The word connotate actually comes from the word connote, which is that root of it, which means to suggest or imply. So it's the emotions that it suggests you have when you hear this word is the connotative meaning or the connotation. Now, they have used an example in your book that I know is going to have different emotional reactions for different students in the class. So, when we look at the word snake, it has a denotative meaning. If you were to look it up in the Cage Canadian Junior Dictionary, it would say a snake is a long, slender reptile without legs. It has a scaly skin and no eyelids and moves by twisting its body back and forth in a wavy motion. That is the objective meaning of a snake. It's this animal. Now, the connotative meaning could be different for different people. So, for some people, they might automatically have a feeling of fear or dislike as soon as they hear the word snakes, because that's how they feel about snakes. So they might feel uncomfortable or imagine a peculiar, dangerous animal that would feel awful to touch. However, there's more than one connotative meaning to something. So I know that in our class, not everyone is going to have that reaction to snakes. Some people love snakes, so they're going to have a very different emotional meaning of that word, but it's also important to know how other people will probably interpret that word. To take this analogy even further, sometimes people use the word snake to describe a person, and they'll say, oh yeah, he's a real snake. Now when they say that, they're not usually saying that this guy looks like a snake and he doesn't have any legs and he slithers on the ground and he has really scaly skin and no eyelids. That's usually not what they're saying. They're talking a little bit more about his characteristics. Now that would go with the connotation of feeling uncomfortable or like snakes are dangerous or sneaky or tricky. That would not go with the connotative meaning that we love snakes and they're exciting and fun to play with. In part A, they're going to talk about how writers often choose words with a particular connotation to create a certain atmosphere. You will be reading a passage from The Lightbearer's Daughter by O.R. Melling. And so as you read, you're going to notice how the author describes the scene. Your first job is going to be to go through it and underline the words that are used to describe the young woman and the words that are used to describe the feast. So if we're looking at descriptive words, we're probably looking for a lot of adjectives that they are using. For step number 2, you need to articulate what impression did the author hope to create. So what did the author want you to think about the woman and the feast based on the adjectives that they used and the connotative meaning? The third question is similar, and it asks what feelings about the scene do the descriptive words connote. So kind of based on the connotation of those words, we've talked about the impression, but now what specific feelings do they want you to have as you are reading it? Part B says that the words used in this paragraph above have a positive connotation. So they want you to rewrite the paragraph using different words to give it a negative connotation. In your CS book, it says that you can do this in your notebook, but I actually have created a Google document in this assignment for you to write your paragraph in, because I would really like to have a chance to read through them and see what you can come up with. So that will be kind of your homework piece that you hand in for this one. For part C, you're going to have words go head to head. So they're going to give you 2 words and you need to look up each adjective in the dictionary and then circle the word with the positive connotation. So the one that is positive, not negative. It gives you a good feeling. The last step is going to ask you to write sentences in your notebook for each of these words. So for both of the adjectives that clearly show the meaning. Now, you can choose to write this in your notebook on a separate piece of paper, or you can write this on the bottom of your Google Doc after you have finished writing your initial paragraph where you're rewriting the paragraph from The Lightbearer's Daughter with negative connotation. Your assignment for Google Classroom will be to write your paragraph for Part B in the Google Doc attached to this assignment. Remember, you can also choose to write your sentences at the bottom as well, but that is optional. Otherwise, you should still be writing them in your notebook. It doesn't mean it's optional altogether. It's a good learning opportunity. And as always, feel free to comment on Fresh Grade, Google Classroom, or send me an email if you need any help.